Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Veteran journalist Earl Bousquet is weighing in on the attempts by Caribbean governments to cushion the economic impact of COVID-19 on its citizens by rolling out stimulus packages.
Every country has to do a stimulus package within its means, and no two countries have taken the same approach and given the same amounts, because these packages depend on the ability of the country, each country, to afford what would be expected. Nonetheless, every government is saddled with the catch-22 situation of having to care for everybody who is affected, as well as those not yet affected who one has to protect. Alongside the similar reality that, particularly in the Caribbean, no government has sufficient money to be able to take care of both those affected directly by COVID and those who are exposed to possibility of being affected.
All the assessments by economists so far have been grim for the region. Bousquet says it's serious times ahead. He's a proponent of debt forgiveness for small island developing states and reparations.
The rest of the world, including and particularly the World Health Organization and Pope Francis, have called for the countries, the major countries of the world, to forgive the debts, to cancel the debts of small island developing states in particular, including the majority of CARICOM. And I think CARICOM needs to be able to use those sort of calls and put on the table once again the important issue of reparations, which Britain, the United Kingdom, and the European Union owe to Caribbean countries after centuries of colonialism.
Bousquet argues that CARICOM has a righteous cause and needs to go forward boldly to demand relief and atonement from developed countries. U.S. President Donald Trump has ordered that his country's payments to the World Health Organization be halted. Trump said that the global health body had failed in its basic duty and must be held accountable for its handling of the coronavirus pandemic.
I'm instructing my administration to halt funding of the World Health Organization while a review is conducted to assess the World Health Organization's role in severely mismanaging and covering up the spread of the coronavirus. Everybody knows what's going on there. American taxpayers provide between $400 million and $500 million per year to the WHO. In contrast, China contributes roughly $40 million a year, and even less. As the organization's leading sponsor, the United States has a duty to insist on full accountability. One of the most dangerous and costly decisions from the WHO was its disastrous decision to oppose travel restrictions from China and other nations. They were very much opposed to what we did. Fortunately, I was not convinced and suspended travel from China, saving untold numbers of lives. Thousands and thousands of people would have died.
Trump added that the U.S. will continue to engage with the organization to pursue what he described as meaningful reforms. The U.S. is one of the World Health Organization's biggest financial backers. Trump's announcement has been widely condemned. Bill Gates called it as dangerous as it sounds. The Ministry of Education here in St. Lucia has assured students and parents that they are working tirelessly to ensure that the online learning platform will be a pleasant experience for all. Chief Education Officer Dr. Fiona Meyer is thus urging parents to be as involved and as patient as possible with their children, especially now that they will be taking on the role of educators as well. Genevieve Gonzague tells us more in this report.
There has been quite a stir since the announcement that the third academic school term would be conducted via virtual and electronic means by the Minister for Education, Dr. Gail Rigobert. Parents, teachers and students have been questioning whether they will be having full days of school, and many have questioned what will be done about students with no access to the required gadgets for online and at-home schooling. The Chief Education Officer, Dr. Fiona Philip Meyer, and the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Education, Michelle Charles, on Tuesday 14th, gave further insight into what the third academic term for students, teachers, and parents would be like.
The third term, formal teaching would have commenced on the 20th of April, as opposed to what would have, under normal circumstances, students would have been expected to be back in schools today.
The Chief Education Officer says that though guided by the ministry, principals and teachers are the ones putting together individual and specific plans for students, as they know these students best.
The responsibility, in as much as there is a national instructional plan, we must appreciate and respect the need for the experts on the ground who best know their students to formulate that individual school plan, which is aligned with the instructional plan that is national. And that is under the leadership of our various education officers and our various other stakeholders.
While teachers may have the ultimate responsibility of providing the students with the material to occupy them at home, parents are expected to ensure that students complete the tasks given to the best of their abilities. Dr. Meyer said not even the preschool students should be neglected.
We note that without a foundation, nothing else will work in terms of educational support thereafter. So we want to applaud our early childhood sector practitioners and say to them, we recognize your efforts, but we continue to encourage parents to look at their really little young ones and to say engage in play-based learning. Sometimes we think children are just playing, but within that time prior to schooling, formal schooling that is, it is really about doing various activities that are fun for the children, that are engaging for them, that are based on their interest. And you would note that all of those skills, numeracy, literacy, social skills, are developed through play.
The Chief Education Officer has assured that the vulnerable and needy will not be forgotten. Meals will be provided, and there has been many efforts by both the ministry and other stakeholders to ensure that the needy students are provided with some way of accessing the assignments given by teachers. The ministry is requesting the full cooperation of parents to ensure the at-home learning term is as successful as can be. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzague.
A vendor is expressing gratitude to the government after the announcement by Prime Minister Alan Shastny that as part of the Social Stabilization Plan in response to COVID-19, vendors will not be charged rent for their stalls.
For the vendors, I mean, that's a real ease upon us because we wouldn't be paying for the next 6 months. So whatever we do, we'll be able to stay in our little pocket and pinch it. Yeah. So I commend him on that. That was great for us on our side.
Meanwhile, a self-employed vendor is breathing a sigh of relief that he finally has some access to goods from the south. He says the usual Easter availability of ground provisions and sales was significantly impacted by the COVID-19 protocols and zoning initiative.
But although what I had was limited, but majority of the stuff that I would really get is from down south, and I didn't. Okay. And a lot of the vendors themselves couldn't get it either.
He says Tuesday brought a noticeable difference.
Today I see a lot of people from down south come up, and I get a little something more than the usual, you know, so it was kind of a little better today.
That was vendor David Chong Jabatis. This is the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Stay with us. There's more coming up after the break.